Well, let's catch you up. Yeah, I stayed on the island, obviously. I'm on a remote island. No one can come and get me and save me. So, time to really step into this and figure out how we're going to solve it. So, let me just fill in some gaps. The solar arrays, they're heavy and bulky, and at least the framework for them made it very heavy, and it's wet and windy, and both of us were pretty grouchy and tired and hungry. So that made tempers fly, that made hurt feelings, and my feeling of just total disappointment that I couldn't get Starlink up and running. I opened up the box. I was so excited. I took it all around our property to see where I could get the best signal, and it was hooked into our generator. I could not get it to click. I couldn't get it to click, and there was no FAQ, any kind of a person I could chat with. The only thing I could figure was it was all based on a password that they might have sent me that I couldn't retrieve. And I'm relying on people back in Homer that it's just not fair to rely on somebody else. So without any sleep that night, I came up with another plan C. And the plan A was to have Starlink work perfectly. I plug everything in and I would be able to get right on my cell phone, and we would be able to connect through WhatsApp right to our captain and talk to him about coming out and exactly when he would be there. Didn't work. I figured it was something to do with the password. I just thought maybe it was in an email somewhere, a new password, and I just couldn't get to it. And I was relying on people back in Homer to help me with a tiny little Garmin message, just one or two phrases at a time. It just truly wasn't fair. So plan B was to have someone give me the password from afar so that I could at least log in from out on the island and maybe repair what we were doing without getting on a boat and going back halfway again, or getting on a boat and traveling again, which costs money. Plan B was not going to work. So, very sleepless night that night, and I came up with plan C. Probably the most expensive plan out of all of them, and it's the only one that worked. What we ended up doing, our captain, Corey DeCook from Bob's Trophy Charter, came out to us that morning. We gave him the plan right out of the gate. Corey, can you please take me halfway back to Flat Island where we know we can get a signal? Let me see if that helps me get that password changed, and then we can come back to Pearl Island and I can set the whole thing up. Well, let's see. Did plan C really work? What we ended up doing, our captain, Corey DeCook from Bob's Trophy Charter, came out to us that morning. We gave him the plan right out of the gate. Corey, can you please take me halfway back to Flat Island where we know we can get a signal? Let me see if that helps me get that password changed, and then we can come back to Pearl Island and I can set the whole thing up. Well, let's see. Did plan C really work?
You don't always have to be standing to take a shower.
Bright sunny skies. It's so humid and hot.
In Defender, and we are riding right now into the rain. Let's take a look at that.
This is really beautiful. I didn't realize it was so beautiful and so deep quick.
right, got a signal. Set my password. Come on. Get in here. Starlink, set up password. You can do it! Yeah! Now I have to change my location. Gorgeous spot, right? To hang out. Not bad. Captain's fishing in the background. Okay, this is what I figured out. Starlink, great idea. Great idea. But the problem is to be out on the ocean like we are right now, the service plan for Starlink to be out on an island or on the ocean like that is $1,000 a month. If I wanted to change it to $250 a month, it's going to take another 2 weeks to get that signal started. My options are getting worse for Starlink. So Captain came up with a good idea. By now, just might as well get yourself a sat phone, get a few minutes on it, a block of minutes, and then call it good. That way then it's a little simpler to maneuver, and we can make some simple calls from the island, but you don't need the whole full-blown internet. Sure would have been nice. But and another thing is I'm still sitting here on my laptop waiting for the availability for our location to pop up. Now when you go to the Starlink's website and you say check availability, Pearl Island is right on there. So I thought we were good to go. We get out here, the system's going, we do have a signal, and now I'm still checking for availability even in Homer itself, which I know friends and neighbors have been using Starlink. That's not popping up either. So it's complicated, not very happy with it, and we've run all this way to get to that next level still without being able to get the internet out of the island. So that's been very frustrating. So I think our best bet is to do is just to head back to the island, pack Starlink up, let's get something else, like just a simple sat phone with a block of minutes, and use that for emergencies or just to kind of be able to communicate with our families, and not worry about the internet at this time, figure that out later, and get back to the island, go get Bill. And now it's on to plan D. This didn't work at all. I went out to Flat Island. We still couldn't get on. I had this ridiculously expensive plan that I had to select just to see if it would work. Well, once I got back to the island, too much to do to record it, but I tried to get everything started again, and it takes at least 45 minutes for you to get connected, to link up to that satellite. So our captain is sitting on the beach just waiting for us and waiting for us. Bill is pacing back and forth, and of course, I'm stressing out. After an hour and a half of still trying to get Starlink up and running with our plan C, which was me going out, remember, halfway, confirming my password, changing the plan to be something ridiculous like out on the water for $1,000 a month, coming back to the island just to see if it would work to give us communication on this island. Again, didn't work. It was a rough afternoon because we jumped back on the boat, back with Corey to Cook, Bob's Trophy Charters, and went back to Homer for the night. It's been an interesting turn of events. We took off to Homer, leaving Pearl Island for just 2 days. Went to Homer, got a bead on Starlink back at our house, and today we're back on Pearl Island to see if I can get this up and running and get some kind of a internet service out here on our beautiful remote island property. So another gorgeous day out, trekking up the beach, but this time I only have one big gray box with me this time with the name Starlink across it. So let's see if we can get this up and running. Well, we've
Had a beautiful change in the weather. Look how sunny it is. And I tell you, I'm jubilant because my array is cranking.
Man.
It is on full charge. So, yep.
And so the weather girl says that forecast for today as we leave Pearl Island, fantastic temperatures and
mid to high 50s. We have very light winds here on the island and plenty of sunshine to power up your solar system, right?
I would have loved to have had this weather the first 2
Oh
days,
my gosh.
3 days instead of rain, but
We were soggy.
beggars can be choosy.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
And we were trying to set up Starlink, and so it was a big struggle, and we ended up salvaging it and by the skin of my teeth getting that thing hooked up. And since we do have Wi-Fi out here on this cabin, I thought, why not put a couple of cameras out just so that we can kind of keep track of the place. What do you think? Yeah?
Yeah, $1,000 later, we're here.
We're out on the island for the second time in this small trip, and like you said, it was a pretty expensive fix for our Starlink system. We had to go back into Homer itself. We had to go back to our house. We had to get on Starlink and change our plan, the actual service plan we have for Starlink itself. Very confusing. And then kind of wiggle around the system to get it out here to Pearl Island. I set the system back up again. Here it is. Just like I did the first time around. I saw my Wi-Fi. It was a solid signal just a few days ago. We put everything back to where it was now that I have this mobile plan. And it just took forever to get it connected. I restarted the router, I restarted Starlink, I made sure everything was plugged in 2 or 3 different times, and it was very frustrating, especially as I have this one pacing, saying, there's a boat waiting!
There's a boat waiting.
There's a boat waiting out there for us.
Literally in 5 minutes, there's a boat waiting.
So what we ended up doing was, thank you, dear Lord. All of a sudden it said connecting, and I knew that I was in at that time, and so I just took a few breaths. And then finally Starlink grabbed that satellite that's above us right now, and we were able to get internet. So this phone that I'm using now won't stay here at the island, so I also had to use another cell phone that will stay here to be the main phone for Starlink itself to connect with Starlink. So once I leave, that one will be able to connect and turn it on and off. So you have to have at least one cell phone that's the main connector to Starlink. And then while we were at it, we got everyone's phone on the Starlink network, and then we connected with WhatsApp because that's a really easy way to call someone on the internet. So you don't have actual cell service, it's on the internet. You can use Messenger, there's plenty of other programs out there too, Discord, blah, blah, blah. There's a whole bunch. But we're using WhatsApp, and it seemed to be pretty simple, right? And then again, while we were at it, we had 2 Ring cameras. That's just another simple thing that we like to use. And we set one out here for the meadow, and then we set one on the back porch just to make sure Bill can keep an eye on your solar.
Amen.
Right? All right, let's get back to the boat.
We got a boat waiting. I can hear it.
Let's go.
Here we go.
So this trip, got the solar system set up, check. We got Starlink set up, barely set, check. And hot tap, well, we're gonna have to wait for next time. That was a lot to do this time around, especially when we spent the first 3 days with rain. So bye-bye again for now, Pearl Island. Our boat, he's waiting. Permission to board, Captain.
You don't always have to be standing to take a shower.
Bright sunny skies. It's so humid and hot.
In Defender, and we are riding right now into the rain. Let's take a look at that.